episode 3 of the Light Skins podcast. Welcome back. Hello, Brian. How you doing, man?
Hello. It's a good day to be alive.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, my guy.
Yeah, we're recording this on Monday on Halloween. And we're going to look back at pretty much everything that happened last week. Major headlines with the Lakers, the Nets, some undefeated teams still remaining, and we have other teams that are struggling that we're going to talk about, some injury headlines. And then for our 3x3 segment, we're going to talk about impressive players thus far, disappointing players thus far, and our 3 MVP candidates as of right now. And then we're going to dive into our pick'ems for this upcoming week. We're going to make them, and then we're going to review last week's. And it seems like I'm struggling in the pickup department, but we'll get to that when we have to.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brian, you ready?
Let's get it, man.
All right, let's hop right into it with probably the most talked about team thus far through the year. We're going to start with the Lakers. And they've had a couple games that maybe might have changed the minds around the league about, maybe not fully about the team, but maybe their recent performances could have given people hope about the future of the Lakers and Russell Westbrook in particular. So there were 2 games in which the Lakers brought Russ off the bench, against Minnesota and against Denver. And I would say he looked extremely better in both of those games compared to earlier on in the season. Agreed?
Agreed.
So I'll dive into those games a little bit. I mean, obviously the Denver game was much better, statistics-wise, than the Minnesota game. But still, even in the Minnesota game, even though his stats weren't great, his impact was really good. Like, his plus-minus was a lot better than what he started out with the season, and it seems like he was just playing a lot more free, and not having to share the court with LeBron really boded well for him, in my opinion. Thoughts?
I agree. I think the first game against Minnesota, he played great off the bench. He looked comfortable out there, running the show, playing at his own pace. So, I mean, we'll see how these next couple of games come up, but I think it's going to be a better version of Russ coming off the bench. He's going to be able to push the pace, and he's going to have some success in doing those things.
Right, yeah. You made a good point about pushing the pace, because I especially saw that against Denver. He was forcing the action. He was throwing a bunch of flashy passes too. It just seemed like he was just having fun again, you know?
He looked happy, man. It was a great thing to see, dude. It was a great thing to see, man. It was a great day. No.
That was like the first thing I noticed, like his energy. It seemed like he was just playing like more like himself, what he's used to.
Agreed.
So I want to talk a little bit about like the supporting cast, because they shot the ball the best against Denver. I think they shot 40% that game from 3.
From 3, they shot 13 of 30.
Yeah, so that's almost 50, so probably around 40 or so.
Yeah, 43%.
I think like all the wings, like Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown, Austin Reeves. Like Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker, they're shooting the best thus far, and they shot really well the past couple games. If they can continue to hit open shots, they're definitely going to be like the players outside of the big 3 that are going to get like the most minutes for the Lakers, because that's pretty much, it's kind of like a tryout for the Lakers to see who's going to be like the supporting 2 for AD, Bron, and Russ, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker played really well in the past couple games. We can
talk a little bit about... I got a question. Do you think... A lot of people are saying that the Lakers got lucky because when do you think they're going to shoot 43% from the 3? Do you think it can be consistent? Because Lonnie Walker had a career night with 18 points.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be on the consistent night?
No, definitely not. Like some nights are gonna fall. They're probably just gonna fall more often at home because they're at home, and but even if they only shot like 33 or 34%, I think the best sign for them is that they didn't take as many. They only took 30.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the magic number. I don't want to see the Lakers take more than 33s per night. You know.
Agreed.
I think they just need to keep emphasizing getting to the rim like Russ was, and he hit 2 threes, but I don't want him taking more than 3 a game, 3
Yeah.
or 4. But it seems like when he gets his offense going and he's getting to the rim, that helps like his 3-point shot. He's a bit more confident and it will go in a bit more often. So I think if they just prioritize getting to the rim as much as possible, maybe get some momentum early on, running in the fast break, because they got a lot of young guys and athletes, and I think that's what they have to take advantage. Like Lonnie Walker is athletic as fuck.
Yeah, slasher.
Yeah, so I think they just need to prioritize running in the fast break, letting their defense turn into offense, and maybe the threes will fall off, like all the momentum they've built up. You know, I think that should be their game plan. I want to talk a little bit about AD because he looked really good against Jokic when he came back.
Yeah.
The thing is, like late in the game, he went up for a rebound and like he tweaked his back. I didn't follow that up. Was it just like a little like tweak, like minor, or was there like a report?
There hasn't been. I think he said in his post game that he feels good, but I mean, if you watch that whole game, I watched that whole game, and the whole game he was just limbering. Like, he was just limping out there, man.
Yeah.
You can tell that his back was really bothering him. I don't know, really, if this is going to be a consistent issue on the next couple games, but if it is, I'd be really worried for the Lakers.
Yeah. It might have to turn into like a load management thing for him, you know, like Kawhi treatment.
Yeah, but well, do you think that will even be enough? Because it's not gonna go away. And they need him especially in the West. They need him.
I don't think it's ever gonna go away, but they need to limit his minutes a little bit. Like I don't think he can play 37 minutes a night. You know, that's what he clocked in last game. I think it has to be around 32 or 33 a night. But yeah, that's a tricky one. I don't know how they're gonna manage it, but I mean, LeBron actually had an interesting quote. It was after the Timberwolves game. When he was asked about AD, he said he has to worry about getting his mind right before, like letting the mental. He said something about letting the mental side of things come first, and then the body will follow.
That makes sense.
So yeah, whatever LeBron was saying, it seems like he's got some valuable advice for him, and maybe the back is more of like a mental thing, like what Ben Simmons was saying. I think he said something about like it was a mental block or something, like he felt like he was re-injuring it.
True.
So I don't know, maybe that's something there, but we'll have to see. I don't see any headlines about the injury, so.
No.
We'll just see next game. Who do they play next?
They play the Utah Jazz, I think,
Jazz,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we'll monitor it there. But yeah, this is like the most positive we've been able to talk about the Lakers.
It's a great sign, dude. I love Russ. Just seeing Russ happy, man, it just makes me happy.
Yeah, definitely.
This man's been going through some hell the past year and a half. I feel bad, man.
I think he got like a standing ovation for a little bit too.
Yeah, he did.
Which is good to see. Well,
Great
hopefully they can build off of it. That was Darvin Ham's first win as a head coach, so
yeah,
maybe they can use that as a momentum.
Hopefully.
Next, we'll talk about Brooklyn.
Oh God.
And Ben Simmons. Oof. Okay, you can start out this one with any thoughts to open up.
Do you want? I don't even know where to start.
Oh, brother.
What's their record? 1-5 right now. 1-6.
1-5, I believe. Yes, 1-5. They just lost to the
Pacers, right?
Pacers. Yeah.
I think the main issue is Steve Nash. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even blame it on Ben or KD or Kyrie. I think it's just Steve Nash at this point. I think because in the offseason, Kevin Durant wanted him gone. And he wanted Sean Marks gone as well, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But what I see from this team is that there's no chemistry at all with this team. It's the same thing as the last 3 years. All offense, no defense.
Right.
He doesn't know how to make the correct rotations. He doesn't get the team motivated at all. That the team, when they played against the Pacers, they came out with no energy, dude. This team is ranked dead last as well on defense, allowing 122 points. And you can tell, I don't know if it's Steve Nash, but KD on the ball, his defensive rating last year was 109, which is solid for a player like him and his size. Mm-hmm. This year, his defensive rating is 124. Woo! That is a big leap on the defensive side of the ball.
Sheesh. Yeah.
If the Nets keep on losing games, I don't see how Steve Nash is the coach at this point.
I agree with the Steve Nash thing. I won't attribute all of it to him, but yeah, his coaching needs to be a bit more in question. I think I don't know why the media isn't going at him not as much as Ben Simmons, but like he's got to get a little attention, you know.
Yes.
You're right. His defensive schemes aren't great. Like they just get killed, and whenever somebody gets beat off the ball, like their rotations off of that are never on point. KD has been really underwhelming on the defensive end, and like even though they're obviously gonna be good offensively, just having Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and then you got shooters like Joe and Seth Curry to get back in the fold, and Patty Mills, so their offense is always gonna be at least decent. But even so, their offense is so heavily predicated on ISO ball with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. It's not like they run many sets behind just a regular fucking screen and roll with Nicholas Claxton or Ben Simmons. So it's not like their offense is that creative anyway. And you would expect more of a creative offense from one of the most legendary point guards of all time, especially one that led one of the more revolutionary offenses. That 06 like Suns offense is 7 seconds or less. You would expect more of a nuance in your offense. And then you got to talk a little bit about Ben. Like same old story, no aggression. It's like even like open layups. He still doesn't even look at the rim, dude. Like there was a possession in that Pacers game where he got an off ball steal. And he was
I saw that.
He was scrambling to pick up the ball, and he got it. And I forgot who it was on the Pacers, but it was somebody on his side. Like, there was nobody in front of him. He was on his side, the defender, and he didn't even look to take it to the rim at all.
No, he pulled it out.
He pulled it out, and they ended up getting a catch-and-shoot three. Somebody bricked it. But it's like, it's crazy how passive he is. He's basically just like a light-skinned Draymond Green, dude. Like
he may be worse. I don't know. He might be worse than Draymond on the offensive side.
Well, yeah, Draymond would actually go up with a layup. He's not a great free throw shooter, but he's gonna go up for the layup. Like Ben's offensive impact is so minimal because he's afraid of going to the rim. Probably because he's afraid of getting fouled.
If you had to put a percent pie on the blame, who would it be on?
I'm gonna give it.
How much percent would you give Steve Nash, KD, Ben Simmons, etc.?
I'm gonna give Steve Nash 40.
40?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Steve Nash 40. I'm gonna give Kevin Durant a big amount. I'm gonna give him like I guess 20.
20?
Yeah, because his defense, and then just
horrible.
Just the team came into the season with drama because of him, so we can't forget that. So that's 60 given out. I'll give Ben like 25. So that's 85. Remaining 15. You can just spread it throughout the team, really.
All right.
Yeah, you're right. They have to get it right though soon, or Steve Nash is going to be on the outs. Are there any coaches, like any notable coaches that are just chilling that are available?
I don't think so. Wh-
I'm trying to think of anybody off the top of my head.
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
I can't think. Maybe.
Oh, fucking the Jazz former coach. What's his name?
Oh, Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, he's got to be out there.
He's a good coach. He's a
good
good coach.
coach. I think he got the most out of that Jazz team as possible. They just had a ceiling, you know.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Lakers to get him.
I would have been a great pickup for them.
Yeah.
But still, Darvin Ham is not. He's doing a good job.
Yeah. I definitely want to give him some time for sure. But yeah, Quinn Snyder is still out there. But that's the first one that comes to mind. But
yeah,
let's see the upcoming. Do you have the upcoming net schedule on you or no?
I don't.
They play the Pacers tonight.
That's a winnable game, but they lost that team last game.
Tyrese Halliburton was going off, man. Sheesh.
Yeah.
And okay, Indiana tonight, Chicago tomorrow, and then Washington. Okay, Indiana, Chicago, Washington, Charlotte. They need to go 3-1 on these next 4 at the very least.
Who do you see them losing to? Chicago?
Maybe Chicago or Washington. Washington, but they should go 3-1 on this.
They could go undefeated, but that's
they could. They have the fucking talent, but you know, there's obviously underlying issues. Let's talk about the Bucks, man.
Oh, your team.
Yeah.
Making you look like a prophet right now.
At least one team is.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, man. I told you, bro. I'm high on the Bucks coming into this year. You were right to doubt their offense a little bit because their offense isn't like flawless or anything. It's kind of ugly at times. But it's their defense that's really carrying them. Like, they've always had great defensive personnel, but it seems like certain players are taking it to the next level. Like Brook Lopez, he's averaging 3.6 blocks per game right now.
Are you sure? What the? I did not know that.
Yep. He's been a rim protector extraordinaire, bro. And then, you know, Giannis is always going to be one of the best defensive players. Drew. Javon Carter is like a hard-nosed defensive point guard. And then they're just really well coached on the defensive end. They've always been that way for the past like 5 or 6 years. So it's evident that's really carrying their team. They're first in defensive rating while 16th in offensive rating.
And the number 1 in rebounding, too.
Oh, yeah. They're fucking big as fuck, bro. You got Giannis and Brook down there. So
and Portis. That man's giving you 10 rebounds a game.
Portis, yeah, he's a fucking bruiser. He's an old
unbelievable. I can't believe this.
Yeah, man. Their defense is carrying them. Hopefully it'll be able to carry them until Middleton comes back, and sheesh, they're gonna be really fucking tough after that.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and apologize to them right now.
Yeah, I'm looking like a fool with the Bucks. I had them I think I had them fifth. Yeah, 5th or 6th. I know that, but damn, I'm shocked with what I'm seeing, man. I did not think this team was gonna come out the gates blazing hot. I'm not gonna lie.
To be honest, I didn't either. I thought it would take a little bit of time for them to get into a flow of things, but sheesh, they're on point right now.
Unbelievable. Drew Holiday's giving you 18 and 8. That's so good.
Oh yeah, he's not shooting the ball well right now, but he's still producing, and his defense is on point always.
Agreed.
On the opposite side of the spectrum in the East, we got to talk about your team, Bryant.
Oh God.
Heat culture. Heat culture.
Yeah, okay, I'll go on this one. I'm kind of concerned with my pick with the Heat. I'm not sure what's going on in Miami. I'm not going to be a prisoner of the moment, though. It's too soon. Still got a lot left. We got a lot of games left to play. I have to wait until 20 or so games to get a better read on this team.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to overreact to it. This team has the same roster as last year. that gave him that first seed. So I'm not really concerned with that. The defensive is still 10th in defense, allowing 110 points. Their rebounding is atrocious and the 27th.
And sometimes they just play really small lineups.
And they don't really, kind of like the net situation, they don't have like a true center. Like Bam is what, 6'9", 6'10"?
6'9" at the height.
6'9". They don't have a true big man. They're getting killed on the glass.
And they've had to play Udonis Haslem a little bit, and I saw in his.
That's how you know it's bad when you have to play Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna overreact to it. It's still soon. Like I said, 20 games or so, I'll get a better read on this team. But so far, it's not looking good for them. It's a little concerning to say the least.
I watched their game against the Kings, in which they lost. And from an offensive standpoint, they looked really stagnant. It was really hard for them to get easy buckets. Like they couldn't really get any open shots, and the ones that they did get, they weren't really able to convert like that. They're at 18th in 3-point percentage right now, which is up from where I last checked. But this is a team that's always kind of like relied on catch and shoot opportunities from like created off of Jimmy passing to like Duncan, Tyler Hero, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, all those catch and shooters. You know, they've always kind of relied on that a little bit from an offensive standpoint, and they're not falling at the best rate right now. Kyle Lowry too, his three ball is kind of missing. So that was one thing that stood out to me. And then looking at it from a whole, you got to think like if you look at their payroll and where the most of their money is allocated to,
they got some big contracts on that team too.
Jimmy Butler, $37 million. That's fine. He's producing. But you start with Bam, right? He's getting $30 million a year, and he's giving you 17 and 8, only a block and a steal. The big thing is he always used to be like a good playmaking center. He would average around 4 or 5 assists per game. That's down to 2.7 this year, and he's turning it over 3.6 times per game. So that's kind of a big source for concern. Yeah.
3.6 turnovers. Westbrook averaged 4 turnovers last year.
Yeah. It's kind of bad. And then next highest is Tyler Hero his extension doesn't kick in until next year. Next highest would be Kyle Lowry at $28 million. And he's giving you 12 and 5 on 35 from the field, 34 from 3. And it seems like his defense is kind of sliding. It might be that old age is getting to him on the defensive end because he was getting burned a lot by De'Aaron Fox. That's understandable. He's one of the fastest guards in the league. And then Duncan Robinson, he's making $18 million, and he's getting 14 minutes a night and getting 5 points a game. So in a lot of areas where your money is allocated a lot to, they're really underperforming.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Do you think that Duncan Robinson contract was they did it too soon?
Too soon? I don't know. I don't know at the time what the asking price was for guys like Duncan Robinson and Joe Harris because they got the exact same contract.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if like another team was offering $18 million per year for like Duncan Robinson, but maybe they were a prisoner of the moment because he was literally one of the best shooters in the league, and his 3-point shot fell off, and he was getting exposed on the defensive end in the playoffs.
I'm probably assuming that contract came right after the bubble, probably.
I think so.
Because he was hooping in the bubble.
But yeah, the motherfucker doesn't even play anymore, man. Dang, there's 4 more years on it? Holy shit.
Yeah. Was it a 5-year contract?
Yeah, I guess so. That's crazy.
Jeez.
I thought there'd only be like 3 years left.
No, they...
Fuck. Damn. I mean, if they wanted to give him $18 million per year, that's fine. But like, they didn't have to make it that long term. I don't think. what do you think is the percent chance that they end in the top 4? Because this is your team.
Oh, top 4?
Yeah.
I say it's a good, like maybe like 75.
75?
Yeah, because I mean they're not the. I can't like I said, I can't overreact. What are the Warriors? They're what, 2-3?
They're kind of sputtering right now.
See, you know, so I give them a good chance of making the 1 through 4 seed.
I'm not as optimistic.
Oh.
I'd probably say like 33%.
33? Wow.
Yeah, and I told you, man, coming into the season, I was kind of low on them.
Damn.
But we'll see. Maybe they'll prove me wrong.
Hopefully.
Next, we got Kawhi. He sat out a lot of games thus far after missing a year and a half.
This is your guy.
This is my guy. Alma mater. SDSU alum. Yeah, it is a little concerning. Like, all this time to recover, get your body right, and you're thinking like, okay, come back. Maybe he's not in game shape. He'll be able to play every game from the start of the season, but maybe on like a minutes restriction, you know, just because he hasn't played in fucking years. You're not expecting him to just re-injure or get knee tightness and have to sit out multiple games immediately. Like, you're not expecting that. So from that standpoint, it's really problematic.
He shouldn't. Don't you agree? He shouldn't be sitting out games when you had almost a year, 18 months, almost a year and a half to get your body right. That's I don't know, man.
What's interesting is how much of this is coming from him and how much of this is a recommendation from whatever medical staff is in LA on the Clippers. Because when he like the first year he signed with the Clippers, like it was emphasized from day one from the Clippers that they were going to load manage him and they were going to be really tight on like the management of his health and fitness. So I wonder how much of that is Kawhi saying like, oh yeah, I'm not good, or how much of it is coming from the team themselves, you know?
Yeah, but I think for me, I think it's maybe the team. I think Kawhi wants to be out there, but it's just Ty Lue telling him, nah, we're gonna take it slow with you. I think Kawhi wants to be out there. I think the Clippers are just being cautious with his injury history.
Yeah. That's understandable, but they're dropping a lot of games early on this year.
Oh, I know.
They're on a 4-game losing streak right now. Paul George has kind of looked bad in a lot of games.
You're being nice. To say the least, you're being nice.
So yeah, they're gonna need him early on because, like, I had a feeling that I didn't think the Clippers were gonna get out onto like a blazing start because Kawhi would take a little bit of time to get back to himself and get to a point where he could play 30 plus minutes a night. I thought it was gonna take a little bit, but I did not expect him to be missing games when I made my prediction that the Clippers would win the championship.
Yeah.
And
we both did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah, we both did. Like, this team has all the role players around PG and Kawhi to really be a championship team. But when your two superstars aren't available, obviously all of our hopes are going to get thrown out the window. You know, like, if you look at this fucking team, it's almost like a complete team. They have a great point guard rotation in Reggie, and John Wall has been hooping. We gotta give out a shout out to John Wall. He's been playing really well.
Told you.
Yeah, you did. You're right.
I like John Wall.
They got snipers: Luke Kennard, Norm Powell, Marcus Morris. They got defensive forwards in Batum and Rocco. And then Zubac as a center is solid. You can do better, but it's a solid starting center.
He's a solid center.
I didn't even mention Terrence Mann, who's a really good energy guy off the bench. And then, like, if you just plug in a dynamic duo of stars, that just makes them a championship contender. Like, they have all the necessary things to be a championship contender, but
that one piece, Kawhi, they need that piece.
Yep. Let's dive into the Blazers a little bit. They were an early season surprise when they were one of the last teams to be undefeated. They took a loss recently, but obviously the big thing with them is the Damian Lillard injury. So how confident are you that the Blazers will be able to stay afloat while Dame recovers?
I'm confident. I'm not really worried. Last year they played basically the whole season without Dame, and with the emergence of Simons, my bad. And then you got the additions of Grant and Nurkic still playing solid D. I don't see that much of a drop off while Dame is out. They did beat the Rockets without Dame, which is a good sign. So they're right now 5-1. I think they played the Suns today, if I'm not mistaken.
They play. No, they don't play today. They play
tomorrow.
They play Memphis in 2 days. They got a couple of
Memphis.
Days.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean, I don't really see them dropping that much. I mean, I don't know if they'll beat Memphis. That's going to be a toss-up. But I don't see that much of a drop-off just because this team played the whole season without Dame last year, basically. So, not concerning at all. What about you?
Kind of similar to you, like from the things that you just said. Like this team, they played a lot without him last year, and they made a lot of upgrades. With Simons, you know, he played half the season without Dame, so he got used to being like a number one option. So he'll be a bit more prepped for it going into this stretch. With that being said, offense will be a little tough just because, you know, you're losing one of the best offensive players in the league, but they're kind of built to hang defensively because in years past the Trailblazers were always horrible on the defensive end, and they'd always be trying to outshoot everybody and to outscore everybody without having the best defensive person. But now they're kind of built in a position where their defense can make up a little bit for it. And then offensively, yeah, like Simons, Jeremy Grant, hopefully he can turn into like Detroit Jeremy Grant now that he'll have the ball in his hands a bit more. And then also their rookie Shaedon Sharpe.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention him.
Yeah, he's looked pretty good in his limited minutes thus far, but now he's gonna get a lot more minutes. Is he gonna start? I think he started the first game without Dame, so maybe he'll get some starter minutes going forward. So if he could maybe break out, you know, that could be a really good like placeholder for Dame, like Anthony and Shaedon Sharpe in the backcourt. So yeah, I think they're built to stay afloat a bit longer, though their upcoming schedule is a bit tough. They have Memphis, like you said, and then you're right, they have Phoenix back to back.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then Miami. So their upcoming 4 games are a little tough, but they're going to be a lot more competitive.
Agreed.
Last headline, we got the Magic's Paolo Banchero. He's going off.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, this is kind of your point that you wanted to talk about, the Magic's lack of team success, really.
Yeah. So let me get my notes.
Right.
So the Magic. I'm not. Pablo's going off for 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 3, almost 4 assists. But I can see why they're losing games. First of all, the schedule, the teams they have lost to are really good. They lost to the Hawks, Celtics, Celtics, the Knicks, and the Cavs. That's the teams they have lost to.
They just lost to the Mavericks yesterday. I watched the game.
Oh yeah, the Mavs too. But those are all quality teams.
Yeah.
They played the Pistons, not a good team at 2-5, but they did beat the Warriors yesterday, so take it how it is. But I just don't think there's a lot of quality pieces around them as well. I mean, besides the Bobo, I don't know, this man's just hooping all of a sudden. But I like what I've been seeing from Bobo. Cole Anthony's still there, and then your guy Frank Wagner. Is that how you say it? Wagner?
Franz Wagner.
Franz, whatever his name. I think, yeah, but I mean, I'm not really expecting much from the Magic this year. Hopefully they can just develop Apollo.
Oh my god.
Dude, I cannot say this dude's. I keep forgetting his name is Paulo. It sounds so weird saying Paulo. I don't know why.
Paulo,
I
man.
mean,
Goodness.
Paulo, man. But yeah, I mean, that was my thoughts. What about you on the Magic?
The big problem is with the Magic, I think Paolo early on, they're giving him the ball a lot because Cole Anthony has missed time. He's injured right now. Same with Jalen Suggs, their first round pick last year, and Markelle Fultz. These are all prominent pieces of their backcourt. So that's really what's making it hard for them offensively. They don't really have, like yesterday in the game against the Mavs, they started a lineup where I talked about, Franz Wagner's playmaking ability. It's good for a small forward, but they literally had him running point yesterday because they don't have any fucking point guards. So that kind of makes it hard for them to get efficient offense, and Paolo ends up having to take a lot of like contested shots, and their offense could come a lot easier if Cole was still there and healthy. Jalen and Markelle Fultz. So that's like the number one thing. Other than that, yeah, it's really just their point guards right now being injured and playmaking, because I think they're like last in assists per game. They're 29th in assists per game. And Paolo is a great scorer, but he's literally second in assists behind Cole.
That's not saying much.
Actually, no, he's third behind Franz. Franz at 4 per game, and then Paolo at 3.9. So, that's really gonna hold them back. So, when they get healthy, hopefully that'll help them out. And you're right about their strength of schedule. They are first in strength of schedule. They've had the toughest schedule thus far.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Bol has been playing really well. He's finally getting minutes. Like in Denver, they didn't fucking play him at all.
Mike Malone. That's another story, but.
Any other headlines we gotta talk about that I might have missed?
You missed one, Ryan. Klay Thompson.
Oh, Klay Thompson, yeah.
This man.
I forgot about that. Yeah, we gotta talk about him. Go ahead and start it.
Klay Thompson. Sound the alarm, folks.
Oh my goodness, sound the alarm. He's overreacting.
Klay Thompson is washed.
Oh my god.
From the defensive side.
Okay.
I'll look at Klay Thompson. The teams the Warriors have lost to have been the Pistons, the Hornets, the Suns. All those games, besides the Pistons, because Klay Thompson didn't play.
Yeah.
Hornets' main scorers were Oubre, who had 18, Hayward had 23. I watched some of that game, and Klay Thompson just, whenever he gets screened, he just can't get over the screen no more. And they're not really hard screens that's saying on him. So that's a big, I don't know if he's not trying on defense or if he's kind of slow. But I have not been impressed with him on the defense side of the ball. He looks sluggish. And then against Phoenix, D-Book had 34.
Yeah, he went off.
And Klay Thompson threw a tantrum and was showing his 4 rings. So, I mean, he kind of overreacted on that, Klay Thompson. And then even against the Heat, even though they won that game, Butler had 27. And Butler in the regular season is not really a scorer like that. I think the regular season is like 20 points, 21. And the Heat, you can see they're struggling right now as well. So Klay, and his stats-wise, 12 points, 34% from the field, 2.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. That's a big drop-off from last year when he averaged 20 points, 42% from the field, 4 rebounds, and the same amount of assists. Now, I don't want to overreact because it's maybe he's still trying to get his legs underneath him, but there's no reason he should be looking like this after having that. He had a decent year last year, but he had a whole offseason to recover. No injuries, no nothing. So why is he struggling so much? Shooting the ball defensively, everything's down stats wise. So I don't know if I'm overreacting to Klay Thompson or if this is just him going through a struggle. What about you? What are your thoughts on Klay? You think I'm overreacting?
Only a little bit. So when we can both agree when we say that Klay is out of his prime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So even in his prime, in the midst of the Warriors 5 finals in a row, even in the middle of that, sometimes Klay would go into like a slump where he would just not shoot well, and there would be like media attention to it, and he would end up bouncing back, and he would look like the regular Klay Thompson from 3. So I'm not really worried about the offensive output. I won't say at all, but I'll say I'm not, compared to the defensive performances, I'm not really worried about his offense. I think he's going to get back in form. He's extremely confident in his 3-point shot. It's not like he lost confidence in it. He's still taking 8 of them a game. You know, I don't think anybody believes in Klay more than Klay himself. So I think he'll get right on the offensive end. Defensively, you're right. He does look a step slow, though. Last year he wasn't bad defensively, but like in the midst of the Warriors dynasty, he was a certified 3-and-D guy. Like he would take on the best defensive option night in and night out. But last year, he understandably so, he wasn't asked to do that because he was coming off of 2 season-ending injuries, and Wiggins turned into that guy. So I guess it wasn't highlighted as much last year because they didn't ask him to defend on the ball as much. And I haven't watched the Warriors games that much, so I don't really know. I can't really attest to what I've seen from Klay besides just highlights. So I don't really know how much he can get back into flow of things defensively, but you're kind of right. He should be a bit more ready at the start of the season, given that he just played half a year and a postseason. Though that is the thing, he kind of just played a half a season and a postseason for the first time in 2 years. So maybe recovering from that is going to take a little bit for him. Maybe he's just not used to recovering from like postseasons in the past, because in the midst of the dynasty, the Warriors were always ready to recover from a long postseason, because it was like clockwork for them, you know. But he's kind of missed out on that for the past 2 years. So maybe we can attribute some of that to just not being used to recovering from off season for the past 2 years. I mean, recovering from a postseason for the past 2 years. But we will see. I did see his post game interview. I think Charles Barkley kind of called him out a little bit. He just said, that Klay is not looking good, and Klay kind of, I guess he's doing his MJ impersonation to take that personal.